Hey, everybody, I'm the Ranting Monkey, and in Scribe's place tonight, we have Hi, I think I'm Real. Say hi, Real.
Hey there. How's it going?
And SDA, who apparently likes wrinkled balls, is also here. Say hi.
Go fuck yourself, monkey.
That's not saying hi. Guys, Scribbles is going to be away for a couple of days. He's got other plans, so we're going to have guests tonight and tomorrow. Real sitting in with us tonight. Your boy Pat is going to be with us tomorrow, so...
and since we're doing guests on Thursdays, you could also consider this our first friend
It's
Thursday.
our first guest.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm
Real,
honored.
you're our first guest.
I am honored.
Is there anything we want to talk about before we get into the news? The news is going to be quick tonight, so...
Shit.
That
I forgot the flower. Fuck.
Oh, yeah, and you said you'd wear it.
I know, I totally forgot.
A flower?
Okay, so that's not anything actually interesting.
Yeah, I could lead us in a guided meditation if you'd like. Maybe we'll save it for
as always, guys. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones.
Movies.
Oh God, I forgot the other one. Movies. Also, don't forget to smash the like button.
Please do.
We'll do the news here real quick. The only really big news was that Kate's Law passed.
Well,
I didn't even
passed
realize
Congress, right?
it passed the House.
The House, yeah.
It's still got to pass the Senate, and then of course Donald Trump will.
He should sign that into law.
He'll sign it into law. We'll get into that in a second. Let's read the article first. This one comes to us from, we're reading a Fox News story tonight. Scribe's not here, so fuck CNN. House Republicans took action Thursday to crack down on illegal immigrants in the cities that shelter them. One bill passed by the House would deny federal grants to sanctuary cities, and another, Kate Law, would increase the penalties for deporting aliens who tried to return to the United States.
For
increase
deporting?
The penalty, yeah, okay.
Wait,
what? Deported aliens. I said it wrong. The aliens who come back who've already been deported would have greater sentences.
That was a little confusing.
Be nice. You know, I'm horrible at reading these things live.
No.
Kate's Law. Kate's Law, which would increase the penalties for deported aliens who try to return to the United States and caught, passed with a vote of 257 to 157, with one Republican voting no and 24 Democrats voting yes. Those are the ones who want to be reelected.
Yeah.
Kate's Law is named for Kate Steinle, a San Francisco woman killed by an illegal immigrant who was in the United States despite multiple deportations. Oh God, can you guys hear that now?
It's very faint.
It's incredibly faint.
If it gets too bad, let me know. It's really loud to me. The 2-year anniversary of her death is on Saturday. President Trump called the bill's passage good news in a tweet, adding, "House just passed #Kate's Law. Hopefully Senate will follow. He should not have been able to return here, and she should not have died," House Speaker Paul Ryan said Thursday in a final push for Kate's Law, an earlier version of which was blocked in the Senate last year. Excuse me. "Our job here is to make sure that those professionals have the tools they need and the resources that they need to carry out their work and protect our communities." I think he's getting louder on purpose.
No, it's honestly, it's funny because it goes like down when you're not talking, and then it comes back when you are, and that's just amusing the fuck out of me. Also,
Also, what? I couldn't hear what you said.
I have a flower.
Okay.
Oh, that's what you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, no, because I don't like flowers, so they pay me to put a flower in my hair, and just
fair enough.
And then she forgot it last night when she should have still been wearing it, so she promised to wear it tonight. The other bill, which would deny federal grants to sanctuary cities, passed with a vote of 228 to 195, with 3 Democrats voting yes and 7 Republicans voting no. For those of you who don't remember,
no?
I didn't look at the exact breakdown, and they're probably ones in very liberal states, because they can get away with it there, and they actually need to there, because let's be honest, a lot of this is still political.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why the Senate blocked the last one. I can't imagine them not doing this now.
I don't know if you mentioned it, but was that vote for the last one during or not during Trump's presidency?
The last one wouldn't have been during Trump's presidency. It was last year. Excuse me. for those of you who don't remember this, the whole story here, Kate Steinle was actually walking with her father when a illegal immigrant who had been deported, I think it was 5 times, shot her. He claims accidentally he just pulled the trigger on a gun and it happened to hit her, but it killed her. And what made this story such a big story at the time, this was right after Trump had announced his presidential run, and he had gotten so much shit for saying that criminals were being pushed across the border. And this, many people think this actually saved Trump's presidency. So if the Senate passes this, it'll definitely, I have no doubt he'll sign both Kate's law and the punishment for sanctuary cities, because there's no reason not to. There's no reason that sanctuary cities, people who are violating the fucking law, should be getting federal grants. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the other thing that I guess we haven't really talked about much in a while is that Trump has actually gone pretty much down the list of all of his campaign promises and knocked out a good chunk of them, and this would just be another one of the things that he promised to get done. So,
yeah, and we also the Senate, the Republicans need a win after the whole debacle with the healthcare bill. So I don't see why this would be any issue.
Oh, this would be incredibly advantageous politically. It would really put them back on the map. I mean, we're looking at sort of favorability numbers increasing, and Trump definitely loves that. Yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer. And it also just seems like a good thing. I mean, like you said, people who are shirking the law, I don't really think that they should be receiving federal funding. And I'm from California. We have tons of sanctuary cities here.
California would be really hurt by this because of, well, certain cities in California, San Francisco especially. This is where Kate Steinle was killed.
I think her name's Kate Steinle.
Steinle, however you say it, leave me alone.
I'm not like trying to.
I'll just call
you know what? Just if you stop doing things wrong, I won't have to correct you.
STA, are you mansplaining Ranting Monkey right now?
Anyway, that's really the only big news that I saw or heard about today. And oh, fucking Magoon is back again.
Here, I got it. I got
this. I enjoy it.
No, me do
Anyhow, I thought you were going to do MSS News now.
What am I missing with Magoon here?
Magoon is a professional troll who last time we were on.
Make him a mod so that he can see what's happening. He can't see it.
I'd have to see him in chat.
Yeah, say something in chat so he can make you a mod.
In the stream chat?
Yeah, these are things that we should have taken care of. So I'm going to go into MSS News now while they're doing that. And this is so well organized. And if there's a story that you guys would like us to read, we may or may not get to it. We'll be able to get to a lot of them tonight. Just tweet us the story with the hashtag MSS News. You don't have to tag us. We go through the hashtag every night. So, okay. Let's start with this.
Hey, before you start, we do have a donation. Thank you, Cryptic. It is a common sense law. Come on. I had to come to the USA with papers, wait in line, wait your damn turn, and come here legally. Exactly. It was funny during the election how many people were surprised that Latinos supported Trump as much as they did. There's a lot of them who came here legally who do not support the idea of illegal aliens.
Yeah, it's really interesting how, for whatever reason, people want to equate like illegal immigrants to Mexicans, and it's just not the same thing. Like, illegal immigrants and Mexicans are not the same thing. That's not okay, whatever. It just so this comes to us from Peter Built Nation. Florida woman, 25, arrested for sex for 3 years with arrested for sex for 3 years. What with boy 11? Why is this? Okay, I'm going to read it as it is written.
As it's written.
Which led
See,
to
guys,
a child.
Scribe is still here.
I'm sorry, this headline is just fucking okay. A Florida woman has been arrested on Tuesday after she allegedly raped and had a sexual relationship with an 11-year-old boy starting in 2014 and getting pregnant as a result. Wow. 11-year-old got you pregnant? Holy shit.
Wait. You said this is Florida, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is fine. Yeah. This is no surprise. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised at like the lack of crocodiles and bath salts involved in this story.
Yes,
we're getting there.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
I don't know. Marissa A. Mowry, 25, was arrested by the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and taken to the county jail, Fox 13 reported. Mowry reportedly started a sexual relationship with an 11-year-old boy in 2014 when she was 22. Why? What? Okay. Police said, adding that the relationship went on until the boy was 14. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna be quiet. She gave birth to a child who was now 3. So
she got knocked up by the 11-year-old.
I mean, I don't want to sound, but like I can't believe an 11-year-old is capable of that.
Oh man.
I mean, like that's it. I'm just surprised.
Yeah, I was collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was 11.
See, maybe that's it. Maybe he was collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards and she was a real big fan and that's what brought them together.
Maybe.
How the fuck do you look at an 11-year-old and go, oh yeah, I need some of that?
I don't know. Like, this is the thing with like pedophilia and where people are like, well, don't you just kind of feel bad? I'm like, how do you not hear attraction to child and just go, ooh?
Yeah. It's dangerous. Because there's a power dynamic there. I mean, these are children, and they're impressionable, and they have no agency because of the fact that they're children. And an adult is coming into their life and taking advantage of them physically. It's incredibly abusive, and I think people downplay that a lot. That power dynamic is where the problem is, and the damage that can be done to these poor impressionable kids. It is serious.
You're right, and that's also my issue with allowing a child to like transition or something like that when they're that young, because they're still children. Like, they don't know, they can only do what you allow them to do because you're their parents and you're supposed to guide them and you're supposed to parent them. You're not supposed to be their friend.
Yeah.
And just say, well, you feel this way, so therefore, sure. So yeah. Monkey, anything to add?
Real quick,
totally with you.
Jacob Navo has asked us a few times. He's asking, who is Hi, I Think I'm Real?
Oh, that's me.
That's the gentleman you see on the screen there. He runs a YouTube channel. I will link it in the description. I forgot to do that before I started. I don't think I even linked SDA.
Monkey.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I will get it done. Motherfucker. But make sure you check out his channel. He does good content. You'll like it.
So this comes to us from Zenith. It's from the Blaze. Lost dogs reunite with owners after smelling their favorite food. Aw, that's so cute.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, child rape, lost dogs. Okay. A pair of lost dogs in the United Kingdom found their way back to their family after their owners decided, as a last-ditch effort, to cook their favorite food, sausages, near the location where they were last seen. Liz and Graham Hampson were devastated when their son called 2 weeks ago to tell them that their 2 miniature schnauzers, Charlie and Theo, had become lost in a thick fog during a walk in the hills of Cumbria, England. The couple launched a rescue campaign for the father and son canine duo, contacting mountain rescue teams and recruiting friends and family to help search the hills. More than 120 people and 2 drones showed up to search for the dogs, and the couple even camped out in the hills overnight calling the dogs names. But after 96 hours of searching with no results, things started to look grim. According to the Telegraph, one of the volunteers suggested putting a grill near the location they were searching and cooking food that the dogs would smell.
That is incredible.
That's adorable. I'm glad.
My heart grew a few sizes.
Yeah, it did.
Johnny Bravo, thank you so much. I'll drop a hundo for a ranting monkey face reveal.
That
tempting.
It sucks because I came out here, my first video with my face. I don't get that leverage.
Exactly. See, I didn't realize people would want to actually see my face.
About 150, monkey. We're doing it peer pressure.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I learned in school that peer pressure is bad.
No,
but you're
it's
not
just
in school anymore.
Thank you, Terry Diamantis. To be a proper new scribe, the new guy needs to talk more like Kermit.
Scribe doesn't sound like Kermit to me.
I wish I could do a good Kermit impression, but the only impression that I can do, and I'm not even sure if it's an impression because I don't know who the guy is. I can do the movie trailer guy, from like the '90s action movies, sort of like the one man, one chance, one desire kind of thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can do that, but I'm sorry.
Awesome.
I can't do the I can't do Kermit.
I'll take it.
CT Captain Brambles, who I know from my channel, says, I will pay $200 if you hide your face. I'm sorry, but I don't want to I don't want to deprive you of the privilege of seeing this visage, so we're gonna have to not do that.
Okay, more child rape. Thank you, Jonakai.
Great.
Yay!
More child rape.
That's a joke, by the way, because I don't actually yay child rape. Just to, okay, I
think we got you. I hope.
Florida man marries teen exchange student, lures sister. Okay.
What? Florida again.
Well, it's kind of a joke too, where people just send us like stories from. I don't know if it's just like that's the joke, or it's that all the crazy shit happens in Florida.
I think there's a problem with Florida.
There is a problem.
Something in the water. A Florida man who had been convicted of sexual assault in the 1980s married a teen exchange student when he was allowed to supervise, and then lured her 14-year-old sister to the U.S. before victimizing her, according to authorities. Dale Leary, now 50, was allowed to become a host for young exchange students, even though he was busted for sexually assaulting a woman and tying her up at gunpoint. Holy shit, dude. In 1985, when he was 19, according to the Miami Herald. He pleaded guilty to the attack, spending 60 days behind. 60 days?
Wow.
That's it?
For holding... Okay. All right. I'm not mad. I'm just mad. Pleaded guilty to the attack, spending 60 days behind bars and 13 years on probation. Yeah, but he was like out. Okay, whatever. Marta San Jose came to Miami from Spain to live in Leary's home in 2012 when she was 16, according to the Miami-Dade Police Department. After San Jose completed 11th grade, Leary and the teen flew to Spain to convince her parents to let her stay in the U.S. another year. Jesus Christ. After San Jose turned 18, Leary divorced his wife and married the teen, according to police. He had been married to Claudia Leary for more than 10 years, according to the Herald. Holy crap, dude.
It's insane. It's like, I can't, how is this even real? I feel like I've lived such a sheltered life that I've never
one word for you. Florida.
Yeah, okay. I keep forgetting.
Unaware of the marriage, San Jose's parents sent her 14-year-old sister to Miami to accompany her back home. She learned only after she arrived that Leary and her sister were married and living together in Cutler Bay. Marta tricked her sister into thinking she had been molested as a child and persuaded her younger sister to allow Leary to conduct a vaginal examination, according to police. She assured her younger sister that Leary would be able to figure out if she had been sexually... Okay, wait. He's fucked up, but how fucked up do you have to be like, hey, sis, come here from Spain and let this strange guy check out your snooch? What? Okay, all right.
That's really intense.
Sexually assaulted Marta's sister on numerous occasions, according to authorities. In addition, Marta and Leary had sex in the presence of the victim several times. Marta's younger sister, now 16, was eventually reunited with her parents. God.
I can't fathom.
Leary and Marta, who is now 21, face multiple charges, including lewd conduct with a child under 16, according to the Herald. Marta pleaded not guilty on Wednesday, while Leary pleaded guilty not guilty last week. Investigators do fear that there have been other victims. That is so fucked.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
What? Okay. Like, it's one thing. to be a child predator. It's another thing to marry a child predator and then be like, hey, 14-year-old sister, would you like to come have my weird-ass husband, who, by the way, raped somebody at gunpoint, check out your snooch? What's wrong with you?
By the way, I've never heard anyone refer to a vagina as a snooch, which is
she has all kinds of words for it.
We have, well, I have snooch, snoochadoodle. We also have smush cookie.
Snoochadoodle sounds like a Swiss dessert.
It does, and in a way, it is.
No, in one of my videos, I think it was one of the responses that I recently did to Riley. I said something along the lines of, "I'm about to get graphic," and then I used the term snoochadoodle. And people in the comments thought that was funny. This also comes from Zenith. This is from CNN. No, okay, whatever. J.K. Rowling tests the character of Trump's tweets.
What?
Was that even okay?
I like that you just whatted your own headline.
What?
Well, that's what you do to Scribe. He reads a headline and you go, "What?" And he goes, "We'll get into it."
That's really funny.
Okay. Well, see, I'm not just doing it to annoy. It's just my natural state.
I understand that. I just like that you did it to yourself. We'll have to show that to him so he knows that it's not just him.
Well-known author J.K. Rowling trolled President Donald Trump on Thursday with just one quote. See, okay. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. To that quote, which she attributed to Abraham Lincoln, led to over 35,000 retweets for the author.
That's
Rowling,
what?
How was that?
Yeah, what?
Well, this is a CNN story, so
Rowling was responding to Trump's tweet about MSNBC's Morning Joe host Mika, whatever that says, and Joe, whatever the fuck that says, in which Trump attacks Mika. I don't know. Who is that?
Mika Brzezinski.
Yeah, that looks, and the other one's intelligence.
Scarborough.
Yeah,
you don't know who Joe Scarborough is?
No, I have no idea who the fuck that is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, isn't he the host of Morning Joe?
Yeah.
Let me look him up. Okay, what is?
Yeah, you've definitely seen him before if you've seen like anything online.
Oh, that little faggot ass motherfucker. Yeah, no, I know who he is. His glasses don't fit his face. Oh, he's from Atlanta. That's just sad.
We gotta.
Hey, maybe you're related.
I'm not related to him. No, it's fine.
We got a super chat from Sir Adamantine.
Thank you, Sir Adamantine. SDA, there were some tweets that you were a part of with me, SDA, and Jeff concerning Rage. Even though she is wrong, do you really not think there's something to be said for the Worski stream ganging? We will get into that in just a little bit. We're gonna cover some what's the word I'm looking for? YouTube drama stuff here tonight.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We'll definitely get to that.
Okay, I think Jonah Kai can become staff reporter Jonah Kai now. Like, that is a lot of freaking stories.
How about we do just a couple more? And there's a lot of Twitter and YouTube I want to get to tonight.
Yeah.
Does anyone know offhand when J.K. Rowling released the Deathly Hallows? Does anyone remember that?
Oh, God.
Chat, help us out.
Yeah, chat, what's up? Because I'm
Google
too lazy to
shit
Google.
for us.
Yeah, please. Well, because what I'm saying is that, like, I don't get me wrong, I love Harry Potter. I grew up reading it. And look, check. I mean, I even have a freaking Slytherin lanyard right here. And the thing with Rowling is that, like, the last thing that I saw her publish was The Casual Vacancy, and it was hot garbage. And all that she seems to do now is offer political commentary that nobody seems to care about, and it's so vapid and it's so vacuous, and it just, I don't want it to cheapen like the love that I have for her story, but I can't help but lose this respect for her the more that she comes out here and says these very easy things. I mean, they're not challenging anything.
Johnny Bravo, thank you. I love the Warskis and think Rage is uninformed, but that stream just felt like Teal Deer 2.0. Yeah, believe me, we will get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot else of consequence, and this is probably going to take us a while because we have both Riley and the Rage Storm, to cover.
There is a lot this week.
So why don't we just go ahead and do that?
But before we do, I want to address what Real just said. When I was especially younger, I had a hard time. For my generation, it was actors. You didn't really have authors doing this as much as you see it now with Twitter. But actors were always on TV taking up some cause that I was like, I used to respect you. And it's been really hard for me, but I do try to separate their art from what they say. I love Harry Potter. I think J.K. Rowling is a fucking moron.
See, I know that I'm not published, but like is working on a novel and all that kind of stuff. Like I worry that my politics will get not that my politics. I don't think they leak into my stories, but I would hope that wouldn't ruin it for somebody.
I don't think if you read Harry Potter, you can really get her politics from it. I mean, it's just a really good story, and if she did sneak some of it in there, it's hidden well enough that it didn't ruin the story for me. It was just really well told with the way she brought so many things back from the first 6 books into the 7th one was just fucking awesome. And I still respect her for her work on that. The shit she says on Twitter, yeah, it's vapid nonsense. It's just stupid. And I don't let it affect my love of the books because to me, they're two different things. One is her personal political.
The books.
You've never read the books.
Okay, I'm going to be quiet now.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to shame you for it, but I just have to say, you're somebody that's working on a novel. I'm also 60,000 words into my horror western that I hope to get finished up by the end of the summer. And J.K. Rowling is the example of somebody who has such a powerful command of the English language that, yeah, I mean, I never want to let her vapid political commentary on Twitter tarnish that because she's such a powerful writer. And I try to take a lot of cues from just the way that she commands each sentence. It's really amazing. But we don't have to talk about J.K. Rowling.
With those books, if you read the first 3, you're not going to be really impressed.
Okay.
You need to read them in order, though, to get everything.
Yeah,
you're not going to be impressed because
Mara's like a total Potterhead, and she sent me the audiobooks through entirely legal means.
The first 3 were definitely written more for children.
Oh, yeah.
But when you get to the 4th one, that's when her writing really takes off. And by the time you get to 7, I've read 7 probably 5-6 times just because it is so well written and she brings. Don't judge it by the movies. The movies, I know people love them, were shit. They were shit compared to the books.
Yeah, I've seen the movies, and the movies make it seem like taking the movies by themselves, because my novel has a magic system in it. And like I said, I've never read the books. But when I was thinking about how to do a magic system, I was like, okay, first of all, explain it, unlike Harry Potter. Don't have it break physics. And I'm sure it gets explained, but the Harry Potter books are a really good example of how not to do the movies are a really good example of how not to use a magic system because it's really confusing.
Well, in the books, the magic system doesn't get used that often. It is very rarely used. And only within the magical world is it used in any kind of major way. You do not use it in the real world, period.
Oh, sorry to cut you off. I was just going to say most of the magical aspects of the books usually come in the form of environments or other characters that you're kind of experiencing through the trio of Harry and Hermione and Ron. So like, although there are spells and they're like there was one that's really intense. I think it's called Sictum Sempra or something, where it explains like this will cut somebody, but it's not. There's like no cost really. There's none of that. There's no sacrifice or anything that you need. It's just you can just kind of say the words. Sometimes they have to say the words. Sometimes they don't. So there's something to be said about that. It's a very poorly thought out magic system, but it's pretty scarce.
The especially the last 4 books are just fucking amazing.
Yeah, I do have the ones that are read by Stephen Fry, and that's the reason why Mara sent them to me through completely legal means.
Absolutely, yeah, completely legal. I can imagine.
So, but I am gonna listen to them because, like, I know that we're way off topic, but I recently, like, I am really bad at reading. My reading comprehension sucks. And I recently got into listening to audiobooks, and it's so much easier for me to understand what's happening when I'm listening to it.
Wow, I've yet to take that plunge. I'm currently reading this. I'm gonna put it on front of the camera so that chat can see too. It's Baron and Luthien by J.R.R. Tolkien. It's one of the ones that his son preserved and edited, and I just can't imagine listening to this. I have to have the words in front of me. I got to have it in my hand.
Yeah, I think it's just a personal preference. But I just noticed that I forget a lot of plot points if I'm listening to it, or if I'm reading it. Whereas if I'm listening to it, I like really absorb everything. And I think I just get distracted so easily. Anyway, now that we're like completely off topic,
right?
You want to get into the YouTube shitstorm?
Let's do it.
But before we do that, let's go over the videos. I did not make one today. I have 2 that I'm hoping to make tonight, though.
Well, the ones that I made both relate to the YouTube shitstorms. So my one on Riley, and Jeff put up a couple videos on Twitter that were pretty freaking similar to what I said. And essentially what I said about Riley is that apparently she has been on estrogen HRT for a year now, and she's about to go get facial feminization surgery. And what I said was that while I respect that she's trans, the reason why I initially said that she wasn't was not because she doesn't look trans. I understand that when you're first in your transition, you're not going to look feminine or masculine or whatever. It takes a while. The reason why I called her a trender was because she literally said in a video that she didn't have dysphoria and that she didn't want to transition.
Yep.
And so that's why. And I'm not sorry for that. Like you said, if she's claiming that she has dysphoria and she's been on hormones, fine. That's fine. And like I said, though, I'm not sorry for doing what I had with the information that I had. Now, Blair White made like a big
apology.
Yeah, a big apology video.
I think it was just called "I'm Sorry Too."
Yeah. I Write Prostate, the video you mentioned, I can't find it. I saw it. Which one? Because the video about her transition is in the description of my video. But Blair White made an apology video where she essentially says that she's just sorry for being mean about Riley's transition. And I get why. But I'm also like, this is a person who said, and like Blair reacted with Jeff and Mems to this video where they're saying, we don't have dysphoria and we don't want to transition. Oh, yeah. And given that information, I think it's fair to say, oh, okay, so you don't have dysphoria and you don't want to transition because that's what you just told me. Like, I don't know. That's like saying, I like chocolate, and then somebody gives you chocolate and you're like, fuck you, I hate chocolate. Like, then why did you say you, fine, whatever. So I guess that's like the minor drama of the day.
I'm going. One of the videos I'm planning is a Riley video based on that because I'm tired of hearing this shit about all of the I'm sorry. No, there's no sorry. He is a trender, has been from the start. I don't care if he's taken estrogen, and frankly, I don't believe he has been for a year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say one way or the other, but she doesn't, whatever.
Well, let's go back a year and listen to a video, and then listen to a video now and see how much his voice has changed.
It's really
that's one of the no.
Look at my list.
Her voice hasn't changed, and also, typically when you go on estrogen, you gain weight, and she's as much of a Skeletor as she was now, as she is now.
I feel like she's super skinny.
Yeah, so like you typically gain weight when you go on estrogen because women just tend to hold more body fat because we have to do things with it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I don't know. I just, when you tell me you like chocolate, you can't get mad at me for bringing you chocolate. That's all I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing. It was almost a year ago because it was during VidCon last year that her and Milo got together. He and Milo, let me correct that shit. And he had a conversation where he said he was not transitioning, that he had no intention of a transitioning, and that he didn't feel any fucking dysphoria. You can't a year later go, no, I've been doing this the whole time. It's bullshit. It's the same. Okay.
Well, like I said, I'm not sorry. I think I'm thinking being a little bit softer than you are, and that's fine. Because I completely get it. But you know, like I said, I'm not sorry for anything, because had he just said, "Oh, I'm transitioning," I would have been like, "You look like shit," but that's whatever.
I'm taking a bit of a different approach. I haven't started writing my video for Riley yet because I'm doing a Dennis Prager response video, which is what I'm working on right now. But I just did, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago, I did a video about Riley called My Grand Critique of Riley J. Dennis. In it, I kind of explain how I believe Riley thinks and sort of the philosophies that are going around academia that I believe inform Riley's worldview, and so on. And I have this really kind of mic drop at the end where throughout the video, I show sort of hesitation using female pronouns, and at the very end, I say, the world doesn't misgender you, you do, and then I call him Justin. And it's sort of a really intense thing to do, and I'm not going to apologize that for him because I don't have a lot of respect for Riley. And like you said, when that information is out there that this person is not trying to transition, it does, I mean, the information points to being a transgender. But all of that aside,
I want to address one thing in the chat real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. As Seth said, actually, Ranting Monkey, you can't have kind of go back and change your mind or change your mind currently. Just because you said something X time ago doesn't mean you have to be that forever.
But this seems
if
like
he's saying, wait, if he's saying he's been on estrogen for a fucking year, it was a year ago he said he had no intention of transitioning.
Yeah,
those two things do not go together. Period.
That's definitely inconsistent.
Yeah, that is inconsistent.
But I think that we need to, because I mean, Blair White's apology is going to be what people are talking about, and there's this trend now of like extending apologies and trying to build bridges and all that, and then that's something positive. But we're forgetting that I think the primary reason, at least for me, the primary reason why I ever wanted to go after Riley was because of the ideas.
Yeah,
I couldn't care less that Riley's bad at being like a woman and that doesn't look like a woman. The fact is that the ideas were terrible, and especially in this kind of like thinking where, oh, I can call biological sex a social construct and therefore break it down, or
yes.
I can call sexual attraction a social construct and therefore break it down. And it comes from like one of the things that I talked about in my video, my recent video about Riley. It's this philosophy, this sort of postmodernist way of thinking of like nothing is real. And I hate to do the Assassin's Creed thing, but nothing is real, everything's permitted. That's sort of like what they believe, and it's very academic.
Assassin's Creed.
That's like one of the lines from them, but it's very much tied to postmodern philosophy and this idea that you can just look at a thing like truth or time, these things that are intangible, and you can just ignore them and break them down because they're not objective. And so Riley looks at biological sex and sees a social construct, even though for us, I think we see science, I think we see life. But I don't know. I feel like that's what we need to be going after Riley about. It doesn't matter that Riley's got this huge fucking larynx protruding out of her throat. What matters is that the ideas are bad and they're dangerous too. I think that they're. I mean, I hate to use the word, but in a way, they're kind of homophobic in saying that we can unlearn our sexual preferences. I mean, that lends credence to.
I think it's absolutely. And by the way, I'm not trying to belittle you for using a video game reference at all. It's just that I told a story about an interesting situation that involved Assassin's Creed. Okay, so I'm not like, oh, you use Assassin's Creed, what an idiot. Like, that's not it. It was just...
it's just weird because I'm like talking about philosophy and then I have to bring up Assassin's Creed.
No, and that's, like I said, that's not why it was funny. It's just funny because there was a situation that I talked about a while ago that involving Assassin's Creed that's like kind of a meme of the stream now. I might tell a story later.
Okay, I'd love to hear.
But yeah, when we get into question time, I'll tell the story. Well, the other thing so my style of content, while I sometimes make jabs at the people I'm talking about, I don't tend to do it. I tend to just go after the ideas. That just tends to be my style. Whereas with Blair, her style is absolutely, she like jabs at the people themselves.
Yeah.
And that's just her style.
Yeah.
So I think with Blair, and I think with a lot of people in particular who are not sorry, most of them don't even focus on what the person looks like and stuff like that. Whereas Blair has always had a heavy focus on bashing people's appearances.
And I think that's part of her charm and her appeal. I think that's one of the reasons why I like her, is because she's so catty, and that's very entertaining.
Yeah.
But I don't go to her to sort of like measure my moral compass, or to find very, very collected social commentary. I go to her because I appreciate that personality that she has. And
sorry about that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was just apologizing for being muted there. You can keep talking. I'm sorry.
No, but yeah, you're right. Like Blair has a lot of sort of baggage in this situation because of all the things that she said.
Yeah, and I think that might be what spurred on her apology, is that I'm not saying this, I don't care that she's catty. I'm just saying that that's her style of video. So she goes more for personal insults, whereas I think a lot of people don't. And so I can see why Blair would feel the need to apologize more so than other people, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah,
but
absolutely.
Even when Blair is insulting people, she's doing it within the context of her larger point. She doesn't just make videos straight insulting people's appearance.
I'm not saying that she does, but I'm saying that it's part of what she does.
This runs into something that we're going to get into with the rage situation here in just a second. Because Riley has come out and said he's been taking estrogen and that he's going to get his face shaved down, suddenly everybody's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Riley. I didn't mean to make fun of the stupid shit you've been saying. Real is absolutely right here. It's not about him being a fucking transgender. It's about all of the stupid shit he says. And none of that has changed. None of it.
Yeah,
and I saw Shoe on Head had a tweet out today where she's bitching because somebody still doesn't accept Riley. Riley is a fucking joke, and that's how he should be treated. And yes, the transgender thing is a big thing for me. But if you look through the videos I've made about him, very few of them focus on that, other than me making fun of the fact he calls himself a lesbian with a fucking penis.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck what Shoe says. Like, because she was just like, see, she's been taking hormones for a whole year, even though there's like no evidence, because usually when people are on hormones for a year, they change, but whatever. I mean, when I was 13 and my hormones got out of whack for like 2 months, I had a mustache like within 2. So I'm sorry, but I feel like you should at least be a little fatter and sound a little bit more like an annoying gay dude.
Yeah, and with Shoe on Head too, I think she's in the same kind of realm as Blair White. Maybe not as catty, but I think the reason why she's appealing as a YouTuber isn't because she's offering very stark and compelling commentary. I think it's because of her personality, and so I don't sort of afford too much weight to like her positions politically on things. I just like her as the person that she is. It's like the dedicated social commentators. Like if they have something to say, that's when I'm like everything's on, radar's going, and I'm paying attention every point. But yeah, like Shoe on Head is just a personality, I think. A great one, but just a personality.
So I guess the bigger shitstorm we can get into. Shit
after storm?
Yeah, we can go with that. So we both made videos on it. I would say that you took a different approach than I did. I went through her, and by the way, you should go watch his video because it's good. Even if you've seen mine, because like I said, he takes a different approach and it's really good. I went through some of the sources that she used, and I just talked about, the variations in IQ and that kind of stuff. And my video got a lot of nasty comments, which I'm a little bit surprised at, but go ahead and talk about yours.
So part of the reason why I intentionally took a different approach is because I saw Andy Worski get on Worski Live and get together with all of these bigger names in the community and start like the whole thing was that this is a deliberate debunking of the sources that Rage is using. And so I said, okay, then I'm not going to talk about that because someone is already doing that. So I tried to find a different angle. My video at the very end of it poses a bigger question, and it has nothing to do with whether or not about. I mean, you can talk about the truth or objectivity of or the evidence of what Rage is saying, but that's not what I'm concerned with. What I'm concerned with is the practical and functional application of Rage's worldview into society. And so if we accept Rage's premise that Black people are inferior genetically and that they're more prone to violence and tribalism and degeneracy and divorce and whatever, how do we operate as a society? We got a super chat. I don't want to interrupt that. I don't know if...
Thank you, Sarah Bunch. Riley isn't transgender. My wife is transgender, and I've been through those changes with that situation. She's not taking hormones.
Some Black guy. What's up, man? He just complimented me. I think that makes me really happy. But yeah, anyway.
Holy crap! Some Black guys in our.
Hi, some Black guy.
Hi. What's up, man? Well, what I was going to say is that I presented a challenge to Rage After Storm, who was not going to watch my video, so I guess it was pointless. But I presented a challenge. I said, please tell us how you would like to see your worldview implemented functionally into society. What is the application, and what does that look like? Because if we operate under that assumption, then I think that it's incredibly dangerous and unfair, and we're regressing to a time when people did treat people unfairly because of their skin color and all those things. And I just can't see how that's okay. I can't see how that's not racist. So.
Monkey.
We have another super chat here from Sir Adamantine. One of two. Hi, Real, love you and your hair. Regarding the Warski Rage stream, my issue is that there was no reason to have a large group of people attack her. Yeah.
I don't know that I agree that it was an attack. I mean, Johnny Bravo brought up the point that it was like Teal Deer 2.0, and
could we take a moment to explain what that means? Because the last thing I saw about Teal Deer was his whole comments on women in the community and stuff.
Sure. Well, let me read the other Sir Adamantine. Thank you. 2 of 2. Her view is wrong in my opinion, but this was an instance of YouTube. I love taking on one person to scream them down. YouTube's I love taking on one person to scream them down. A very SJW approach, dangerous trend. I watched much of that stream. I really did. And I don't think they were mean to Rage at all. Most of the jokes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, what people meant by Teal Deer 2.0 is that they went through point by point with those sources and they academically demolished them. And I watched the stream too. Mm-hmm.
That's not what they meant by the 2.0. What they mean by Teal Deer 2.0 is Warski and Chris and Andy Warski and Jeff Holiday going through the Teal Deer Lacey Green video where they just ripped it apart. And one, they weren't wrong about what they were saying there. Teal Deer's claim that he was a straw man. The straw man of that situation was that they seemed to be suggesting that Teal Deer was saying we shouldn't talk to Lacey at all, and that's not what he was saying. He was saying be skeptical, although that's exactly what the fuck he was saying. And some Black guy just said it. It was the opposite of 2.0. They actually went through and debunked the fucking points, because the points that the sources she used, let's not even call them questionable. They are shit.
Yeah, they're are,
just
and
shit.
And they didn't attack her. They attacked her. I'm sorry. I just thought that they meant that because Teal Deer, I think, academic. So I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
But they went through and they debunked those sources. I mean, which, like I said, her sources are just laughable. And you know, I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting a lot of big names together to say, hey, race realism is stupid and here is why. They're not saying Rage After Storm is a fucking retard. They're saying these points are bunk, here's why.
Well, here's one of my problems I'm having with this, with that express line of thought. Nobody would have any problem with this if, say, Christy Winters had made that fucking video. Nobody would have a problem with several anti-SJWs getting together to talk about how dumb it was. She was invited on. She refused to come on to defend her own points. And her reaction on Twitter, she had a tweet today saying that her sources were meant kind of as a joke, but her point was still real. Well, what was your fucking point? She's almost pulling a Teal Deer 2.0 with the, oh, it's just satire, bro. There was nothing satirical about it. She went out of her way to make it sound like black people are stupid because genetically black people are stupid.
Yeah. There's a clip that I pull out of her video that I put in my video, and I put it in twice right after she says something really contradictory to it. But she says that, like, what she says in the video, the words that she uses, the point is that she doesn't understand why we have to use the word racism when talking about the development of African or Middle Eastern societies. That's what she says her point is. But obviously, if you look at the whole arc of what she's talking about, yeah, it's that we need to accept, we need to stop ignoring these IQ differences between people because we're expected to, and if we don't ignore them, then we're called racists. And I am just so incredibly surprised that anybody can get in front of a camera and say the things that she said. I don't understand what she could have possibly been thinking. And then I also wanted to bring up that thing where she said that her sources were a joke. Do you really think that she's being sincere in that, or do you think that that's a defense?
No, I think it's absolutely a defense. I mean, if you were going to make a joke video and you were going to use joke sources, fine. But to make a real video, right? Like if I want to make a point and I'm making a serious point and I'm like, citation Shrek. Like, what? And I'm like, no. Okay, look, the point is real, but my source, haha, got you. It's like, are you sure that that's
yeah, like it would be hilarious. It'd be hilarious if that whatever Daily Stormer link actually went to like meatspin.com or something. Like that would be fantastic. That'd be hilarious. I don't know if anybody remembers meatspin.com, but I just I don't know. Anyway, go on. I interrupted.
No, it's fine. It's just
we have a super chat. 1 second.
Sorry.
Thank you. You stole my Teal Deer joke from last night, Monkey. Shame on you. You'll have to tell me which one I stole, because I talk mad shit about Teal Deer because I have no respect for the man.
I think it's an absolute. Sorry, some black guy said, how could they be a joke, and use those sources to support her claim? And he has a point. She's quoting the Daily Stormer in her fucking video, and then she's like JK about that part. Like, you can't have it both ways.
Thank you so much. Some black guy, I really wish I could discuss this with you in DM. I don't think you gave my tweets a fair chance. Maybe he'll talk with you. I don't know.
Some black guy remembers Meatspin.
Oh,
I'm glad to hear that.
Zenith was talking about the Teal Deer defense. Yeah, that's what she used. It was satire. There's nothing satirical about it. There's nothing funny about it.
And go. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I have a problem with the kid gloves Rage is being treated with right now.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people like her and that she's friends with a lot of these people, but she said something incredibly fucking stupid based on absolute garbage research.
Yeah,
and anybody else, we would just rip them to shreds for it. And
absolutely.
she's being treated with kid gloves because of who she is. No.
I mean, imagine that Richard Spencer makes the exact same video using the exact same arguments as she does. Would anybody have an issue with a bunch of YouTubers getting together and going, hi, race realism is dumb because X, Y, and Z?
Oh, no, it would be a frenzy. And everybody would be making videos, and everybody would be okay with it.
And let me again say,
sorry,
I don't think that they necessarily need to tear her apart, but there's nothing wrong with tearing her argument apart because it was crap.
I haven't seen anybody no YouTuber anyway, attack her personally. Everybody's just talking about her ideas and race realism. And another thing that I want to say is that I didn't talk about the book that she references. I talked about the websites that she references, but Real, you did discuss the book, right?
Yes.
That she references. So while I didn't, he did. So he did my work for me because I suck. So
well, a lot of the things that I found when I was looking at it, I found these critiques of the book is that people were saying that they got the data sort of backwards, and that there was data in the data that kind of suggested that this isn't a consistent thing where you've got parts of the Middle East where the IQ is high, but it's like people are pointing to like this is obviously something to do with with the wealth of nations, which is what the title is called. And so like the message of the book, I think, is even incongruent with what Rage is saying. But anyway, like the conclusion that people can come to is that when there is a larger middle class in a society, IQ is higher, because IQ doesn't measure your objective intelligence. It measures your cognitive ability relative to your immediate population. And if your population has more access to education, then obviously your IQ is going to be higher. So that's why these developed countries are doing better.
Yeah,
and so yeah, like that's one of the things that I just am surprised like nobody's bringing this up. And because she's standing very firm on that IQ thing.
Somebody sent me a map with average IQs, and of course, like the lowest ones are in Africa, and they were like, boom, and I'm like,
well, and what is that even like? Well, okay,
like, what are you trying to prove? Like, yes, poor countries with a lot of political turmoil and low access to education, they don't have a bunch of educated people. Color me surprised.
Yeah,
it's not because they're black.
Exactly, and then to take that position and to say, look at this information, therefore blacks are inherently genetically inferior intellectually. And I had comments on my video. I had one specific comment where the dude is like, black people are intellectually inferior to whites. He just came out and said it unabashed. That's the result of this kind of rhetoric. That is the functional result of what Rage is saying, and it is absolutely promoting racism. And I don't think that we need to use, like Monkey was saying, these kids' gloves when talking about it, because these are serious implications. Yeah,
this is the very definition of racism. How many times have we been over this? It's literally thinking your race is better than another, that another race is inferior. This is literally fucking racism, and nobody will just say she's being racist.
It is fucking racist. I mean, isn't this like the textbook racism that we were like, hey, we're not racist for saying that black people don't need us to, you know, give them a pass for the whole AAVE thing, because of course black people are capable of speaking English properly, right? And like, that's not racist because you're saying black people are completely capable, whatever. That's racist apparently, like saying like that's not racist. What's racist is saying black people are literally stupider because they're black. That's so that's
and not even stupider, more violent and more tribal.
Right.
And that is where I was just like, I can't believe you're saying this.
Well, the Daily Stormer article went even farther and said that basically non-white societies are more violent, tribal, and brutal. And I was like, I can think of a bunch of non-white societies throughout history that we would consider moral. And I can think of a bunch of white societies throughout history that we would consider completely brutal and immoral. It's almost like there's an ebb and flow to this kind of thing. Holy shit.
And there were two things that I wanted to bring up with Rage. One of the things that I wanted to say is that the way that her sort of supporters are behaving. And so I'm coming out here and I'm doing these videos, and I didn't intend to make this kind of a series, but I'm saying like X person is a right-wing SJW, and I'm kind of going down the list right now. And looking at this behaviors, because I saw like Tara McCarthy, who does The Virtue of the West with Brittany Pettibone, saying that like she was scoffing at like the skeptic community, quote, attacking Rage After Storm for her video. And so I think it's important that skeptics and you know, people that are on the internet point out when people on the right are behaving in the same way as the people on the left that they so admonish. And because I mean, it's blatant hypocrisy. And the other thing that I wanted to mention with Rage is that if her sources were truly a joke, and this is going to be kind of a backhanded compliment, the reason why I don't believe that claim at all is because Rage has shown in her videos that she understands comedy. There are moments when she gets timing, like she's a kind of like a mildly funny person. She understands how to manipulate editing and even perform comedy when she's making her videos. I do not believe for a second that somebody that has shown in the past that they know how to make a joke would just put a link out there with no context, no sign of satire, no sign of sarcasm, and then come back later and say that it was a joke, because she knows how to make a joke, and there was no indication that was what was happening there.
Some black guy asked, do you guys know Tree of Logic? She's a black woman that supports Rage's video and wants to debate me. It's crazy. I've heard of her. I'll have to look it up and see what she's actually saying.
I've seen the tweets. I'm otherwise unfamiliar with Tree of Logic at all, so
that's incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not willing to say, because it's easy to say, "Oh, you're black. Why do you think that?" But that would be what SJW say to somebody like some black guy, which is, "Oh, you're black. What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And I'm not willing to say that because you're sort of like, but you're black. Okay. And it's easy for that to be my first reaction, but I'm going to catch myself and refrain. I would be really interested to hear what she has to say about that.
Yeah, I would encourage some black guy to participate in that debate if he feels comfortable doing it, because I think, I mean, obviously there isn't going to be any interaction on Rage's side because she's very interested in blocking everyone that doesn't agree with her and just sort of sitting in the environment of support that she's getting from the people who agree with her.
I didn't get to watch either of your videos, but I did get to start watching yours, SDA. And I was reading the comments as I was going, and the comments are just fucking insane. How many people?
No, my comments are bananas. I don't think your comments are quite as bad as mine, though. Mine are fucked up, man.
Mine are not so bad. I'm getting a few here and there. I'm getting more dislikes than this is the most disliked video that I've ever made. But for the most part, I'm still getting a lot of support.
Well, you haven't touched MGTOWs and vegans yet, right?
Oh no, but the MGTOW is coming because I have to do that at some point.
Getting back to this whole, she was attacked by all of these big YouTubers. I also don't see what the difference would be if each one of them did it individually.
There wouldn't be any difference.
But there wouldn't be. One of the criticisms that, oh, they all got together. So what?
Hey, hi. Sorry, she's been like out of it for a while. And
hi, Mara. Nice to see you.
Some black guy brings up a good point. Huh?
Oh, go ahead.
Ray just wants to say that blacks lack abstract thought, and that was the Daily Stormer. That's where they say that blacks can't think abstractly because the Zulu language is different from, it's structured differently from European languages, because who would have thought that languages on different continents would be different? Oh my god. I'm so shocked. And
yeah,
and then
ridiculous.
That's also where they say, like, oh, that's why they can't be moral like us. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that's why there are so many like law-abiding black citizens. It's because they can't fucking understand white morality, right? That makes so much goddamn sense.
You know, one of my favorite parts of her video that I just thought was hilarious is that when she was going through all the statistics of violence in the black community, and yes, there are some alarming numbers, especially for a demographic that comprises about 13% of the population, right? But she was saying stuff like, well, blacks make up 54% of murders, while whites are only 41%. And I'm like, that's 41%. That's a lot. What?
Can I just
that's
say,
significant.
Yeah, earlier you said you don't do impressions. You did that one very well.
Oh.
Here's the problem with all of that fucking. Let's just, for argument's sake, say that all of those numbers are absolutely true about blacks having lower IQ. There are reasons that could be possible, not necessarily genetically.
Well, that's what I go over in my video. If you would watch it, monkey.
Sir Adamantine. So sorry, this is a super chat. So SBG automatically gets his comments read because of his followers, yet he's too famous to address what I say.
He's been addressing you in chat.
And I don't want to speak for him, but he probably gets a lot of traffic.
Well, that's what he said. And yeah. I mean, sometimes even, I mean, I know I'm nowhere near his size, but I get sometimes a lot of traffic, especially when I'm in a fucking shitstorm, and the shitstorm that is raging.
Yeah.
For the record, I want to talk about that because I got dragged into this when I had nothing to fucking do with it. Friended asked me if I could validate her sources on, or that she actually did use those sources on her video, because he thought I was friends with her. And because of that, my fucking Twitter has been so blown up the last 2 days. I can't read it all. I literally can't. And I can't imagine somebody, some black guy size, or say Bering size, or fucking Sargon size, being able to even read what they get.
Yeah.
I just
I mean, have some compassion for.
Yeah, and
Stradamantine says that he's been dismissing, not addressing. He's addressed it. He's answered why he didn't get into it with you really big on Twitter.
Yeah, and I can't fucking blame him. I mean, that. And you know, I'm sorry. I just.
You know, that's a fight between you two that you two can have out.
Yeah. And I mean, let me be clear. I have 2,400 subscribers now, and when I'm very little, but when I see the 20+ on my Twitter app, I check out. I'm like, I can't do this.
Like, there are times, yeah, when I see 20+ on my thing, I'm like, something's happening.
Like,
I'm not paying attention to.
Yeah, what is going on?
Because it's a lot, and I don't know if people who, like I said, all of us are much smaller than some black guy. Hopefully not for long, though. But you know, sometimes, like when video comments get crazy, when you get dragged into something on Twitter, when people are demanding answers from you, when those notifications blow up, sometimes it's easier to just be like, never mind.
Yeah.
Especially when people are being rude to you. Like, so just cut some creators some slack, okay? We're all humans, okay?
Yes,
and see, he gets 20+ every few seconds. I don't know how he doesn't have a brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a really
Sweet
intense.
Chili Tea, just donated. Thank you so much. Why don't Monkey and SDA create some YouTube drama? We can all come up with topics and vote.
That'd be really fantastic.
I think I'm in the middle of enough drama right now. I don't want to start any.
Yeah, no, I'm good. No, and especially with you have, like, what, in the past month, vegans. Are you still doing MGTOWs? Is that still a thing?
The MGTOWs, they're still the most, MGTOWs are the most dedicated haters I have still, but it's been a while since I've addressed them. I didn't even address them. It was because of your interaction with Angry MGTOW that they got pissed off at.
Yeah.
But then, I did vegans. I did teal deer.
Right, yeah. So you have just been kicking hornet. Like, he needs to get away from all the hornets' nests, honestly.
Yeah, you've always been really good about it, though. I remember one of the first videos I saw of you, well, not one of the first ones, but one of the most surprising ones, was when you responded to Roaming Millennial, when she did that collab with Milo. And I'm like, this guy has fucking huevos, dude. Like, Roaming Millennial is loved. But yeah, it was awesome.
There've only been 2 videos I've ever been a little bit let me rephrase it. There's been 3 videos I've been nervous about hitting publish on. My very first one, because I was like, oh, here I go. The Roaming Millennial one, and then the Teal Deer one, because I knew with the last 2, it was not going to be pretty what came back at me. And actually, with the Roaming Millennial one, because I didn't attack her. I really didn't. I attacked what she said and the way she presented it. I didn't get as much backlash on that as I thought I would. The Teal Deer one, I got a lot of fucking backlash.
Well, I think with that situation with Roaming, you brought up some really big flaws in the arguments. And
the character, in Milo's just character, like her the way that she is, that was kind of the big deal.
Johnny Bravo, thank you. I don't trust some black guy. Tariq said he was a white supremacist.
Oh my God, Tariq said he was a white. Never mind. Get out of the chat.
Yeah, SPG, what the fuck are you? Get out
Get
of here.
away from me. I have been dealing with so many white supremacists today.
Oh no, but Tariq said he was okay because SPG is gaming the white supremacists. He's like manipulating them. He's trying to make money.
Oh.
And if Tariq says you're bad, you have to leave because they can't take it anymore.
I still have not dug into Tariq. That's one of the shitstorms I haven't. I know he's an idiot.
It's a lot. It's like the width of an ocean with the depth of a pond. He's really not.
I'm stealing that. I like that.
I don't think that he's very substantial. I don't think there's a lot there. You can look at him for a few seconds and be like, oh my God, this guy is simultaneously very influential and incredibly stupid and racist. And I think that's kind of the end of the Tariq conversation, which kind of sucks, you know.
Getting back to Rage just for a minute. I am planning on doing a Rage video. The 2 that I want to do are Riley and Rage. So I'm.
Okay, so you're not exactly getting your feet out of the fire, huh?
No, not exactly. I do want to address what she said, because I think it is important to note when this kind of actual fucking racism rears its ugly head. And this is the kind of racism that should be responded to. Whether she's just misguided or she's actually balls deep in this kind of thinking, what she said was incredibly fucking stupid. It just is. And her fucking sources are a joke. And there should be no reason she should be given a pass, and there's no reason she should be treated any more special because some people like her.
Well,
what she said here was...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I would hope that if I were to go this far off the deep end, the people who I respect would respect me enough to go, you know, oh my God, I expected better of you, and here's why.
Well, you and I have had arguments on stream over things we disagree with.
Yeah, and
if I think you're wrong, I will tell you I think you're wrong.
Yeah, and you'll be wrong about that, and that's okay. And but you know, I think it's, I don't want to say it's important for us to police our own, I know, community, but that at the end of the day, we're a bunch of people who tend to like each other. So what are you going to do? And, you know, we get accused of racism all the time. And I think a lot of us, most of us, are incredibly against racism. So, and we like to debunk pseudoscience, whether it's non-binary people or race realism. And I think we should go after both.
The one thing that I've seen here that has really reaffirmed my faith in the people that I follow and talk to on a regular basis is I haven't seen anybody that I recognize defending the shit that she said. You mentioned this in your comments, or before we started, about your comments. Mm-hmm. All of the people that are backing her up in your comments, they're people you don't even recognize.
Yeah, no, I've never seen them comment on my stuff before.
So it makes me feel, it makes me feel a lot better about at least my community, mm-hmm. that none of them are on that shit. Johnny Bravo, thank you. They invited her on the stream. Yes, they did.
Can I like present my theory as to like what might be going on in Rage's head? I think that I kind of understand, or sure. I have a working hypothesis. Rage, one of her earliest videos that I saw was I think titled "I Used to Be an SJW."
Yes. And
she talked about how she was deeply entrenched in this very leftist, very Marxist ideology. So I think that what she's displayed is that in becoming this very deeply far right, sort of alt-right, I almost feel like it's appropriate this time to say that. I think what it is, it isn't an issue, or I think at the foundation of her mind, I think it's an issue of not understanding sort of individual thought, how to take things in moderation. Because I think that what she has is an issue with extremism, maybe, if she was so heavy in SJWism. And she's treated that dogmatic ideology for another. I think that what it is with her is that she just doesn't understand how to take things mildly. And I think that's where this is coming from.
That she exchanged one extreme for the other.
Yeah, I can see that. She only knows how to operate in like extreme magnitudes.
We can maybe look at the situation with Armored Skeptic a little bit, how he talks about how he was like in some crazy shit, and now he seems to be just dogmatically against taking a position with anything. Yeah. And I mean, I think that there are some people that will tend to go towards extremes.
Well, the whole race realism thing, one of their talking points is that you're an SJW if you don't subscribe to it.
Yeah.
Which is fucking retarded.
Because the other thing is like that I think that everybody, for the most part, I think that everybody has the potential to be a perfectly functional human being. And I don't think that being one race or the other like makes you smarter or anything like that. And like I said, we talked about colorblindness last night. It's not that like I don't notice that somebody's black. It's that you don't treat them differently because they're black. Kind of like you wouldn't treat somebody differently just because they have brown hair versus blonde hair. I mean,
right,
the differences are just that. They just don't fucking matter. And I think that is the least SJW position you can take. When you take the position that your race inherently means something about you, I think like what I think Emil said, that makes you a right-wing SJW, or just an SJW in general, maybe a different one, but you're still going down the road of identity politics.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Those,
and yeah, and that's why I do what I do, because they're just displaying the same behaviors from the left. They're just doing it from a different place. And if I could appeal, and I don't think that we have any in the audience, but if I could appeal to the people who subscribe to Rage's kind of worldview, who want to uphold the West with their, sorry, I dropped my phone, who want to uphold the West, I mean, at least in America here, it is the most anti-American thing to do, to restrict someone because of the factor that they cannot control about themselves. I mean, the whole thing about this country was that we should have the opportunity to make our own way, and then everyone has that the quality of opportunity to do that. And then it's about how hard you work, and it's about how smart you are, and it's not about where you come from. And if we start making it about where you come from, then it is no different from the regressives on the other side of things. They are,
well, it's regressive, and it's regressive in a different way, but it's regressive ultimately. Still. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for her to tell us what the point was, because she claims she has one, and maybe this was all just satire, bro, but I don't fucking believe that.
Oh no, I don't believe that for a second. And I think that the second that someone puts her feet to the fire and asks her to explain her like the intentions of what she's saying, and to explain the ideal implementation of what she's saying into society. If like I just want her to tell me what her perfect world would look like given that worldview. I think the second she does that is the second that she reveals herself as an unabashed, sort of undeniable racist, because that's it. That's all she has to do, is just have that conversation. That's why I challenged her to do that. I challenged her to a debate, but she's never gonna watch my videos.
Maybe she's the best troll ever. I don't know. Maybe she is, but I think it's just interesting how she backpedaled and was like, "Nah, my sources were a joke." A comment that I got was,
her sources were a joke, but I don't believe she meant it.
Not the way that she means it. A comment that I got that was interesting, because I talked a lot about how the environment affects, your schooling, whether or not you had a stable family life growing up. All of that affects, what your IQ might be on a test. And somebody was like, so if we put a white person with a black family, are they going to then go on to be in the NBA?
Oh, dear fuck.
Jesus.
What?
That's insane.
Yeah. I was like, whatever. Sometimes I'm just like, because I want to interact with my audience, but with these comments, I'm just like, I can't, it's too stupid.
So we got to get you a shirt so you can answer all that with, don't forget to buy a shirt. Real quick, regarding something that Real said a little while ago, Zenith said that Rage is not American, and that is true, but what we're talking about overall is still Western ideals, and she is definitely in a Western country.
And she does pander to American conservatives, because she has that big-ass American flag. And I remember the first time, like, what the hell are you doing with that? That's
my thing, damn it.
Yeah, it's my thing.
And there are a lot of her fans and people who agree with her who absolutely are American, that are backing her up on this nonsense. Are you really vaping if you aren't wearing a fedora? Guys, I am vaping. I'm trying to quit smoking, and leave me alone. I like it.
That's I mean, another thing that I always, and I would like to hear your thoughts on this. How do you explain the explosion of popularity that Rage experienced in I think 5 months?
Yeah,
we were talking about that last night, and we were like, we don't know. A glitch in the Matrix.
Is
that the right phrase? I've never seen the Matrix.
Yes.
You've never seen
don't really watch Rage.
Yeah, don't. You'll get used to that.
Oh man,
I don't watch Rage very much. I'm not a huge fan of her channel. I'm not going to disparage it, except for this latest video. But I don't know. I can't explain her popularity. I can't. It doesn't seem to fit with any YouTube growth I've ever seen.
And
some black guy says she hot, and again, like I said, I'm not going to disparage anything, so I'm going to go back to my vaping thing here.
I think that there's something to be said about specifically like she's sort of like a little Brittany Pettibone. She's sort of like a small Tara McCarthy, right? And I think that there is a ravenous audience of very passionate viewers who want their biases confirmed by pretty girls. Now, that's not to say that Rage After Storm is pretty, because she is way beneath my league, and I just couldn't. I couldn't imagine. But I think that there's probably. I mean, I've seen my analytics. I think most of the people that are involved in viewing politics on YouTube are men, and I think that there are a lot of males who just want their biases confirmed by.
And I can see what you're saying there. I can, but then if you look at somebody like Casara Vera, they have about the same amount of videos. They cover this. They're basically both anti-SJWs. But the growth is not exactly the same. So I can't explain it. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, some black guy. The sound of her voice and those teeth. Ugh, I can't. But putting that aside, yeah, you're right. Because Vera, but I think that Rage is. I mean, she's for the whole time. She's been considerably more inflammatory, and you can see that in her view count. She's got videos with 250,000 views, hundreds of thousands here and there. I mean, it's very. I think that I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the inflammatory nature of her titles, her thumbnails, and the content itself that it just has drawn more attention simply by being a little spicier.
Could be, yeah. So it's definitely. I mean, I'm happy for anybody to succeed. I really am, whether I like what they do or not. But that her growth is inexplicable in my mind. Somebody I was talking to actually said, if she didn't have the views that she did, I would suspect she bought her subs. But she absolutely, she's getting watched. So it's not like the subs don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said she's a Jew. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna start question time a little bit early because we do have a guest here.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't I tell the Assassin's Creed story real quick?
Oh, I'd love to hear this.
You can do that.
So, okay. All right. So one of my ex-boyfriends and were doing the sex, and
doing the sex. Jesus
Christ.
She just can't say anything like normally, can she? I'm surprised you didn't call it like we were doing the butterscotch dance or whatever.
Butterscotch dance.
You can use that one, by the way. I give you
permission. Yeah, well, because we were doing the butterscotch dance. And I was bored, and
that's terrible.
And I know, and I have I have like a shelf. If you can see it in some of my videos, like next to my bed, with video games on it, and my mind was kind of off in space, and I was staring at an Assassin's Creed game, and it was right when another one was about to come out, and so he's like mid butterscotch dance, and I just said, like deadpan, "Have you played the new Assassin's Creed?"
That's awesome.
Awesome for her. How horrible for him. I don't know if I can say this. Ara Kroon, thank you. Tweeted you my art on how I see Western society. I'll take a look.
That's a beautiful story of love and patience, and and that must be the most mortifying thing. I
didn't even think about that. That I just like, and he was not happy with me either. He just he stopped and he was like, "Are you serious, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, have you played the new Assassin's Creed?" And he was like, "What the fuck? No, but what the fuck?" And I was like, "I'm just curious."
I mean, how do you like? And I don't want to talk about this too much because I mean, whatever. But like, how do you not know, right? When you're with someone, like, how do you not understand that they're not reciprocating the experience? Like, I don't know, man. That's insane.
Maybe he had his eyes closed and was just going real hard.
you can't close your eyes. You gotta look intensely at.
I was looking at my video game shelf, not at him, so I have no idea.
Yeah, you were bored.
I was bored. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Bloodwing says that's a boner kill. Yeah, that's an instant deflation.
Yeah, that's why I laughed when you started quoting Assassin's Creed, because it's a it's a stream joke.
Yeah, I got it now, and I'm glad you told that story.
Oh, good God. The way some people spell stuff.
I just
Forensic TV?
Yeah. Forensic TV, yeah.
Yo, Monkey, what's your e-cig setup? Only 50 chars? What the fuck? I don't know what the setup is. The lady said, I should buy this. And I said, okay, I'll buy that. That's how I did it.
I don't know something about something that I'm buying. I just trust the person that's selling it to me, and it's not wise, but
it's not. But so far, I've liked it. So, and when I went to buy this, I did not realize how. I remember when e-cigarettes first hit the market, and they actually looked like little cigarettes, and they were these tiny rechargeable things that you just sucked on. And now they have them so advanced, you can actually digitally alter the amount of crap coming at you. I'm like, I don't need that advanced. No, just give me something simple. But yeah, I did want to start a little early with chat tonight. Chat questions, comments, concerns. We might not get to them. But yeah, we have a guest here. Real. I'm hoping you're okay taking questions.
Oh yes, please. This is my favorite part of doing YouTube.
So if you guys have questions for us or for him, by all means, now's the time to ask. This is y'all's time.
We're getting shipped, STA.
Oh, okay. Am I getting? Okay, yeah.
Uh-oh, that's not going to go well with Lady Monkey. She's in the chat, y'all. Be careful.
Wait, what? You're not shipping them with you. Oh, no, right. Lady Monkey wants me to marry your son. I forgot. Fuck, I forgot. I'm already. I'm engaged to like Mara, and I'm engaged to your. This is a problem.
Zenith asks.
Zenith wants to know how old you are.
How old I am.
Oh, see, look at this. Our guest pays better attention to chat than you do, SDA.
Can I be vague and just say that I'm in my early 20s?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Close enough.
Jonokai asks favorite band. All time, Pinback from San Diego. They're lesser known, but right now, my favorite band is Under Oath, and Disambiguation is the most important album of all time. Go look it up if you like somebody. If you like a really angry dude screaming in your ear for about 45 minutes.
FD Swayze wants to know why your room's so messy. Because he's a dude. That's what we do.
And it's fucking like it's Thursday night, dude. Like,
you should see my room. Like, if I pointed the camera that way, y'all would vomit.
CT Captain Brambles, who I know from my channel, what is your opinion of The Princess Bride? I think it is a fantastic piece of film, and I jumped out of my seat when Inigo got the knife in his gut. Sorry, spoilers. I was so invested in his character, and I just saw the movie like 2 years ago. So
SDA just watched it like 4 days ago, and she hated it.
What?
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, so obviously I'm seeing a pattern here, SDA. I think you have some kind of an issue with film in general. You haven't seen The Matrix, which is a timeless classic, and you didn't like Princess Bride.
Like I said, there were some moments that made me laugh, and there were a lot of moments where I wanted Princess Buttercup to die because she's an idiot.
Well, she's absolutely an idiot, but
yeah,
part of the charm of the movie.
No, it's not. I don't look. I am like, okay, I'm reading a couple of book series right now for like the book club that I do with Bae, and one of the book series I'm reading right now, the girl is such a fucking dumbass. Like, there are demons trying to kill her, and she can just like prick their finger and kill them, and she fucking doesn't. And I just I want her to die. Like, I just want her to jump off a cliff and commit suicide because she's awful. And like, so maybe if I watch it, because I have it on DVD, maybe if I watch it like in a couple of months, once this shit's over, I'll have a little bit more of a tolerance for stupid women. But right now.
I think what happened is we built it up too much. And I was quite serious when I told you not to watch it, because I think the audience here just built it up way too much, and there was no way it could ever live up to expectations.
Yeah.
And you were salty about having to watch it, so you went into it with your pissy, I'm not gonna like this.
Well,
I know how you are.
I really wish that somebody had told me that it was a spoofy movie, because nobody told me that it was like a spoof.
Yeah, you really need to
it
like
is,
have
but
that
it's
in your head. And it's also dated. Like, you got to think about how filmmaking has changed in the course of the last 30 years, and the sort of the filmmaking traditions that The Princess Bride is espousing. They're very uncommon, and I could go on and on about film, and I don't want to do that, but it's definitely from a different time, and I think you've got to be in that mindset to enjoy it. Maybe have a couple of drinks. Maybe that'll loosen you up a little bit. It's supposed to be kind of fun. It's supposed to be kind of fun. So.
Yeah, I will watch it again, because like I said, there were some parts where I was like, haha, it's funny.
That movie has some of the best.
I like the how do you pronounce his name? The guy with the mustache who did the dad killy thing.
Oh,
Inigo Montoya?
Fuck with that.
Yeah, I like
Inigo Montoya, yeah.
Oh yeah,
he's
my
awesome.
name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. That kind of thing is great.
That. And I am gonna read the book.
Mandy Patinkin was so great in that. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Sweet Chili Tea, thank you so much. Wait until you read the book, SDA. Buttercup is worse in the book.
Great. Yeah, no, I am gonna read the book too.
For Oz Rock, I just want to let you know that England is my city. Just because you asked.
I saw something on Tumblr that was like, I know Tumblr, but that was like the guy that played him had recently lost his dad to cancer.
Oh yeah,
and
I
so
saw
he
that.
like put that I was like, aw.
It's an amazing performance. The way that when he delivers that line, that I want my father back, you son of a bitch. It's just like, oh my god.
Yes.
Just perfect.
Yeah, his performance was good. Like you said, there were parts that I did like, so yeah.
I loved Wesley throughout that movie. He
annoyed me.
He never says die, no matter how fucking bad the odds are. He's like, fuck it, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that character. I love Mandy Patinkin as Indigo, but yeah, the whole movie. Andre the Giant was also great in that. He's
oh yeah, so lovable.
Yeah, and when he died, that was the first thing I did when I heard he died. Is I went and watched the movie again, just because I know he was big in wrestling and all that, but to me, he's the big dummy in Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Okay,
let's probably get to another question here. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get off topic, but we have like half an hour for them to ask questions. So,
which is why we.
Drummer is pretty adamant about my opinion on aged cheese. I'm not a big cheese guy, because I'm kind of I'm one of those really annoying like calorie counting health nuts, and cheese just has a lot of calories and not a lot of nutrition, and I just.
What's your opinion on spray cheese?
I've never even heard of spray cheese.
Never heard of spray cheese?
No, is that a thing?
He's a health nut, so that's not surprising. There is nothing good for you about spray cheese. It's an acquired taste, but I fucking love it.
Can I ask the chat a question?
Sure.
Can I ask if any of you guys, since we have two Harry Potter fans in this stream, what is the streams, or what are all of your respective houses? Where have you been sorted? If you've taken the time to do that, I'd like to see whether you guys are wrong or not, because there's one correct answer and 3 incorrect answers.
Some black guy says he can't beat Dark Souls. I've never even played that. My son likes it, but I've heard Dark Souls is
300 hours. 300 hours.
Damn.
Some black guy. I am the biggest Dark Souls fan I know. I think I've spent just about as much time watching Dark Souls lore videos as I have actually playing the game, and I have played hundreds and hundreds of hours of Dark Souls. It is the epitome of gaming, man. I fucking love Dark Souls. I love it because it treats me like shit. I don't know why. It's a weird masochistic thing.
Bloodwing says, can you at least suggest your guest sub to me, since he had so much trouble saying my name? Bloodwing does great stuff. He actually did a movie once featuring a lot of anti-SJWs. Me and Scribe were in it. A lot of people did the voice work for me.
What's New Game Plus?
It's harder.
Okay.
But you get to take all your gear with you in the first one. I know that for sure. So it's not that bad, but it does get harder.
On New Game Plus,
I'm not
so
seeing
yes.
enough. I'm not seeing enough Slytherins in your stream, guys. It's incredibly disappointing.
Slytherin sucks.
I know.
They're the
Well,
bad
because
guys.
Bay made me. Bay is Mara Jane, by the way. We're engaged and we're like best friends.
That's sweet.
But because she's a massive Potterhead, and she's the one who gave me at least the first book by completely legal means. And she made me take it, and I'm a Ravenclaw.
That's tolerable.
I think.
I'm not gay. I am the King 48. Just so you know, I'm very, very straight.
Will you admit that Trolls 2 is a masterpiece? I've never watched it. I haven't watched either of the Trolls movies. Now, I've seen the new Trolls movies, the cartoon one, and that's a fucking awesome movie. But the horror movie, Trolls, never watched.
Drummer Luxinger has a question that I'd love to get very briefly into. Any conspiracies you interested in or nah? The Franklin Credit Union scandal is one that I love to do research on. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. It has to do with like super social elite pedophilia rings and money laundering and like it's crazy. I don't know if you guys listen to. I do a lot of I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and I'm a huge fan of the last podcast on the left. Yes, I'm black. I'll be gay for you anytime you want. I just want you to know that I'm a power bottom, and it might blow your mind. The last podcast on the left did this series on the Franklin Credit Union scandal. So if there are any podcast listeners out there, check out Last Podcast on the Left and listen to the Franklin Credit Union scandal series that they do. It's so fucking crazy, and the thing that makes it crazier is that it just could be true. It just could be true.
SDA, thoughts on the Divergent series? I have not read the Detergent series.
I'm not a fan.
You know what?
You can't make fun of it if you haven't read it yet.
My thing is that it's just too on the nose. It takes so many cues out of like the Hunger Games and other young adult novels that it's too close, and it just feels like a grab. And there's nothing in it that's compelling enough. I don't.
Bay and I might read it because like we're going through the Covenant series, and I'm listening. Okay, you know, I'm gonna say that because I'm so fucking mad that I'm listening to this shit right now. Anyway, because we're trying to do like good stuff and bad stuff at the same time, because we're reading a good series that's really good that we both like, and it's not as much fun to talk about because it's way more fun to bash stuff than it is to be like, I like this. So we might get to the Detergent series.
Has anyone in here read The Dark Tower?
I have not, but I'm so looking forward to the movie. It just looks awesome.
Oh my god, so am I. I love, that's my biggest series in SDA. If you haven't read, I'm not sure if you're into Stephen King or not, but if you haven't ever gotten around The Dark Tower, I will always recommend it to book lovers. It is an experience unlike anything that I've ever encountered.
Yeah, I've got like a list, and I'll definitely check it out.
Check out Biggest Mikey podcast. Check out the Biggest Mikey podcast. Biggest Mikey said, yeah, check him out. I like Biggest Mikey. He does good stuff.
Oh, I see we got some Dark Tower readers in the chat. I suddenly like you guys. I'm forgetting about the whole not Slytherin thing already. And Bloodwing, I subscribed to your channel, so I'm looking forward to seeing your content.
For the record, you're going to want to watch him on 2X. Don't worry, he'll still sound the same because he's Southern.
You know what? I don't appreciate you talking bad about my people.
Bloodwing talks very slow. He really does. I love Bloodwing. He is the only person I will watch a 20-minute video on and not be annoyed, just because I love him so much.
You know what I think of? I think of Rick from The Walking Dead. I don't watch the show very much, but I got up to season 2, and I remember the scene when he said to Lori, he's like, "We got stuff, Lori. Thanks." And that's just what I'm thinking of all of a sudden. If he doesn't sound like that, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
I would recommend even while we're live on stream, just start one of his videos. You'll hear it immediately.
Okay, let's see.
The way he speaks.
Someone said I won't read a Stephen King. I've actually never read anything by Stephen King.
Okay, so like let me just give you the quick thing on Stephen King. The dude has a tin ear for language, and I'm a big language guy. I love authors that write pretty, and that isn't very popular in like American literature. I'm a big Charles Dickens fan. People that just kind of sit in the language, and Stephen King doesn't care to do that. But he writes at such a pace that it's like lightning fast, and it's so human that's I think where.
Oh, I'll really like that then, because like Dean Koontz, like I read a couple of pages of a Dean Koontz novel, and when he got to where he was describing this fucking oven mitt, I was like, no, I can't. Because you're wasting my time. Like, I don't need to know the pattern of this fucking stitch of this goddamn, I don't need to know. Okay?
And see, that's why I like Dean Koontz so much. So there's obviously a different taste.
Yeah, no, it is. It's completely a taste thing, because there's a reason why he's a famous author.
But even I love Stephen King's sort of like very sharp, very minimalistic style. And he does something with like if you ever read The Dark Tower, towards the end of the second book, there's a chapter called Shuffle, where the dude like doesn't use any punctuation. It's like 3 pages of a run-on sentence. It's like these block paragraphs separated by like the single word shuffle in the middle of the page, and then another block paragraph, and it's weird. It's like slam poetry, but it's still a story. And he's like, and they walk down the beach, and they drag them along, and then the carts shuffle along again, and it keeps going, and it's the weirdest thing. But if you ever get to the end of the Drawing of the Three in the Dark Tower series, the chapter Shuffle is one of the biggest examples of somebody taking the English language, breaking down all of its rules, but still telling a great story.
See, now that you've told me that about Stephen King, I'm actually a lot more interested in reading some of his work, because I kind of assumed that he would be a lot more like Dean Koontz and be really slow. And
oh no, I would say actually,
what I would recommend, there is I forget where he gave the talk. Just search in YouTube for Stephen King reads his story. There's actually, he gave a talk at some college, and he actually read one of his stories that wasn't published yet. And you actually get to hear Stephen King read his own fucking story, which is really cool. But check that out. That way you at least get some kind of idea of his writing before you actually go digging into it. Because the one thing, especially in King's earlier stuff, he writes a really good story, but he can't end a fucking story to save his life. He just goes weird on shit, and it's very much to me the way Blazing Saddles ends. It's like you have this cohesive story all up until the last chapter, and it's like I don't know what just happened here, but he is a good writer, and he tells good stories. I prefer his shorter stuff to his longer ones. I like his short stories a lot.
I think that there's something to be said about his endings, although, and if you ever get there, SDA, I would love to immediately hear your thoughts.
Okay.
But the end of The Dark Tower is one of the most controversial and divisive endings. And it's a lot of people say like, oh, it's a Stephen King ending.
Like the end of the entire series, or just
the end of the entire series?
Okay.
But I would argue that despite like the end of so many of his other novels being a little bit flat compared to the meat of the story, The Dark Tower is, in my opinion, the most powerful ending to any series or novel that I've ever read in my life. It fucked me up, and in a way that nothing ever has. And so I will forgive Stephen King for everything else that he's ever done that doesn't end satisfyingly. I will forgive him for Insomnia even, because of The Dark Tower.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you know what I think.
Yeah, and nobody spoil that shit in the chat.
We still have 15 minutes on questions, so don't forget to throw them out there. Does our guest have a contingency plan in case his hypothesis of being real proves to be false?
Well,
thank you, Terry. I fucking love Terry's question.
Well, so there's a stool in my closet, and there's a noose, and I'm just gonna, just clock out early.
Thank you. You're not smoking, just vaping. No, I'm switching them up. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Believe me, I'm trying.
I think it is a very noble effort that you're trying to quit smoking. I commend you for that.
If I bang a white supremacist chick while she's wearing a Klan robe and I'm in blackface, does that make me racist?
No, I think that makes you, and I think we shouldn't shame you for that.
No, I think that's a personal choice. I believe that's one of the genders.
Are you a clan sexual?
Sexual.
Are you looking forward to the new Game of Thrones episodes? I really am. I'm, especially last season. I'm such a fan of Game of Thrones.
So I'm only up to at the end of season 4. I just finished season 4.
Oh, dude, you're coming into the great one.
But I've read all the books, so I know that this show has gone on. So
yes,
because like
and
at the end of the books,
you can really tell.
Oh, anyway, I won't talk about that because I don't want to spoil it to anybody. Yeah, go ahead.
You can really tell that the last season was written more by television writers than a book writer.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you watch the first 4 seasons, it is a slow buildup. It is almost like reading a fucking book.
Right.
And you get very few payoffs, and then it goes on to the next story. The last one, you can tell it was written for television, and as a television fan, it made it better for me.
I got bored, so I stopped watching Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Should I keep watching it, or should I pick up? Okay.
Have you read the books, STA?
Yes. For somebody who really likes to read, I haven't read anything. So no.
Oh gosh. No. Well, I won't even. I recommend them to everyone too, but the thing is that those are a commitment. Collectively, you're looking at about like 5,000 pages.
Yeah, no, and that doesn't scare me at all. Like, my reading list right now is just so freaking long. But I'll have to like go to a bookstore and actually read through some of them to see if it's something I want to commit to.
Yeah, I would.
Because I don't know.
What I do about your taste, I don't know, because it's not flowery, it's not Charles Dickens, but it's a little bit more detailed because it's sort of like Tolkien, where he's trying to build a persistent world, and so he's got to throw in all that detail.
You know, and if it's like, the thing is, I can forgive my taste and I can put my taste aside if the story and the writing is good and it works for me. But I would honestly just have to like go read a couple pages and see what I think.
Tail Future asked when we're gonna do his damn videos. What about your damn videos?
Look, they're filmed and like I have all the clips. I just have to throw them together, and I'm a terrible person. Don't ever collab with me. I suck. I'm sorry.
Somebody asked, just a wild stab in the dark. I'm guessing you play guitar. Yeah, I dabble.
See a couple of them in the background there. Yeah.
I actually there are 8 in this room, and there are 5 more that you can't see.
Damn.
Yeah.
I dabble, huh?
I'm looking to see. Yes, those are real guitars. Those aren't bass.
That's not.
Just saying. Somebody, FD Swayze says Cersei Lannister is Michael Corleone. Thoughts? No.
Cersei Lannister is literary gold. What an amazing character. Here's a woman whose just primary motivation is the love of her children, and she was just so fucking evil.
I don't believe her primary motivation is the love of her children. I believe it's the love of herself, and it's displayed through her supposed love of her children.
I will say that when watching the TV show, the one character that I like really wanted to know what happened to was Cersei Lannister, because regardless of what her motivations are, she's such an interesting character. I love dickwads, which is why
Q? No.
Yeah, I do. Which is why, because like I'm writing a series via Patreon, just like putting stuff out every month, and that's why the main character of that is just an ass, because it's so much more fun and you can do so much more when like you're not constrained to this person has to like be a good person.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm one of those people who roots for bad guys to die.
It's like a love to hate thing, like kind of a
I don't like really horrible characters. I like more like Littlefinger. He's a character I really like, because he's not evil, but he's not above doing what would be considered evil things for his own means. So he's not a
Dimitri
dick.
Is more on that level where like he's not evil, but like he's willing to do shit he probably shouldn't do, and it's fun. It's so much fun.
I see somebody. Can I trigger the whole chat, because I feel like I've told people this and they hate it when I say this. But my favorite Game of Thrones character Sansa.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's insane. Why Sansa?
So like I haven't seen the show that continues like beyond what the book is at. Sorry to end a sentence with preposition, but so I don't know if anything has happened to her that hasn't happened in the novels. But in the novels, the way that I understand it, I really believe that Sansa is gonna win the Game of Thrones. I think that her whole character is being primed to do that because George writes in irony. I mean, he takes like the greatest swordsman of all time, his handsome Jaime Lannister, and then he takes his sword hand. He takes a little girl that wants to be a boy, and then he like makes the world turn her into a boy, force her to lose like her femininity and her humanity. He loves playing with irony, and so he takes this poor, delicate little flower, Sansa, and just fucks with her and fucks with her and fucks with her until something clicks.
Let me just say, watch season 5. Okay.
I think that's an interesting perspective.
I think I don't like her because
I honestly think it might be her actress because I just want her to like eat dust. But
up through season 4, I don't like her because she's one of those characters who everything happens to. If you look at like her sister, her brothers, they at least take an active role in what ends up happening to them, and she is a completely passive character.
And it's weird. Like I think that's why I like her. Like I think that's the thing about her. Like because in this world of doers and manipulators and liars, here is this innocent, like poor fragile creature who's still surviving and is learning and watching. And so like my whole thing is that I'm sitting back and I'm waiting for her to become the monster that destroyed her life, because I think that's what's going to happen to her, and I think it's going to carry her to the top. And she's going to.
Some black guy just said so many spoilers.
Well, I was about to say, I was like, as some black guy said, if you're not caught up on Game of Thrones or you haven't seen it and you want to see it, spoiler alert.
Did I say what we were talking about? You'll be fine.
Did I say anything too spoilery? I'm sorry. I was even like.
No. Okay. It's just funny because we've been talking about it, and then it's like 20 minutes later, we're like, spoilers, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I've been very careful not to spoil anything. Damn it.
Yeah. Are there? The Nell Mapius guy. I love Preacher, man. I haven't watched the second season yet, but I'm gonna watch the first episode tonight. Preacher is the best show on television. If you're not watching Preacher, then you're not an American.
I like when we insult people's patriotism based on what they watch.
Yeah.
We do it on this show a lot, so that you're not alone in that.
I mean, yeah, I will. If it gets better, I'll catch up on Game of Thrones. Because I think like one of the only TV shows I've ever watched like in its entirety is The Vampire Diaries.
If you can sit through that, you can sit through Game of Thrones. The ex-Fireball had a question. Thoughts on moderate Muslims?
Oh gosh.
Okay, so
in the stream.
Here's the thing: moderate Muslims, people assume that moderate Muslims like just mean the people that don't want to blow themselves up because they think that dumbass rednecks like me think that all Muslims just want to be terrorists and blow themselves up and do the whole 9/11 thing and like
She's really
never forget.
Doubling down on that accent.
Yes.
But here's the thing. A lot of Muslims, even ones that live in the West, still hold on to a lot of these backwards values. And it doesn't just mean that they want to strap a bomb to their chest. They're not okay with gay people. They're really against drinking. I mean, there are literally Sharia patrols in the UK. These aren't people that want to blow themselves up. These are people that want you to adhere to what they think your social values should be.
Oh yeah.
So when we talk about the issues with Islam, it's not just that they want to blow themselves up, and I can't stress that enough.
I support them blowing themselves up.
Yeah, do it in an isolated place. The thing is that with like the moderate Muslim issues, that's a different kind of danger, right? Because what you have with like the danger of terrorism, that's an immediate violent danger, and that is something terrible, and it's horrible that it's a reality in our society. But the other danger is that their normal is incongruous with the values that we have in the West, and that is that homophobia, that is their opinions on domestic violence and the rights of children and wives in families, that That's what that danger is, and it's their like inability to let go of that. They're holding so fast to these values that just don't belong in our world, because they would impede on the rights of the individual.
Yeah, and even second generation Muslims. So when I talk about my issues with Islam, I'm not just saying, oh, there's goddamn out queers want to blow themselves up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about that, yes, but we're also talking about the much broader base of Muslims that even though they're not terrorists and they're probably not horrible people, have horrible values.
Absolutely.
The one thing I'll also say is that should the religious war come, the moderate Muslims are not going to side with you. They're going to side with the crazy radical Muslims. And for the record, the moderates are the radical Muslims, the ones who say that they, live and let live. That is a radical Muslim position.
Well, yeah, no, like in the most radical Muslims, when you're looking at a global scale, the most radical Muslims are the Muslims who are at my college in hijabs, learning things and driving themselves to school. Globally speaking, those are the most radical Muslims on the planet. Like, just their ideals. When you take a moderate Muslim, right? A moderate Muslim's idea of what the world should be like is much closer to ISIS than it is to the girl wearing a hijab who's going to school in a Western country wearing shorts. Just to throw that out there.
Guys, we got 5 minutes left. This is your last call for questions, comments, things we might ignore. Throw them out there now so we can talk about them.
Yeah, please. I love answering questions, especially deeply uncomfortable and personal ones.
Yeah, ask him about his underwear choice. Boxers, briefs, what do you do? Free ball? That was a question.
What? Oh,
I'm asking.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was rhetorical for some reason. I prefer briefs. I prefer a little bit of security because I get a lot of motion. If I just don't like the feeling of that much chaos in my pants.
Chaos in my pants. How old are you guys?
I'm 20.
You are very talkative tonight.
I don't know. Scribe's not here, so I'm clearly in a really good mood.
I see that.
Favorite type of porn from BG. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable asking that question.
What was the question?
My favorite kind of porn.
Oh, lesbian porn. Midget lesbian porn, to be exact.
Anything. I like what some black guy likes. I'll say that.
I actually don't like boxers. I like boxer briefs. It gives you a little bit of security, but not quite a party in your pants.
Yeah, I do a lot of jump rope training, speed rope and stuff, and I need to have everything strapped down.
Gotcha. You see, you opened some horrible gates here. Lube or dry butt sex?
Oh, neither.
Lubed, it's just nice for your partner. I mean, come on.
I know, but like I don't deal with I'm not a big fan of the rump roast.
Sweeper Steven. I am late to the live chat at work, just stopping in to show monkey love and to say videos from SDA. It was a good day. Yeah. 2 videos.
Oh, because I had 2 videos. Yeah.
Azeth asks, what kind of dog do I have? I have a Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
He's the cutest.
No, my dog's the cutest, but that's okay.
Well, I'll let you have that because everyone's dog is the cutest.
I taught him how to Monkey. I'm teaching him how to stand. On his little hind legs, and he's doing such a good job. But he also knows how to spin in a circle, and sometimes he still gets the hand signals mixed up. So today I was trying to get him to stand, and he just kept spinning, and I was like, okay, I feel bad. You can have a treat for that.
To Jesse Jess, I prefer Guy Ritchie's direction, but ultimately Cumberbatch's performance.
Somebody keeps asking, I think it's I'm sorry, I forgot the numbers at the end. If I'm still going to debate vegan gains, I'm waiting for him to answer.
Oh boy, Monkey. You and the hornet's nest, sweetie.
Rebecca Hall
actually wanted to do it.
And it is weird as fuck. It's very strange. There's a lot of hair in that stuff.
I missed something. Where is there a lot of hair?
Sorry. She had asked if anybody had seen 1960s vintage porn. And
yeah.
Ooh. Gross.
We're still getting shipped, SDA, you and I.
Drummer wants to know if you've ever done mushrooms, real?
No, I'm not into any kind of mind-altering substance. I don't even drink. So and it's not by design. It's literally because I'd have to input the beer into my like calorie counting app, and it's so many.
Good point.
It's not. Like, oh, I don't want to put that in my body. It's just like, it's what am I, if I drink that beer, then I can't have dinner because I need to stay under like a certain calorie threshold.
So. X Fireball asks if me or SDA would still eat meat if we had to kill our own food. I would.
I think I'd want to eat it more. I think that'd be awesome.
I'm not against. Look, I don't give a fuck about cows, but I don't want to stab it myself. I'm a lady. Fuck you.
That's what metaphor, right? Bloodwing asks what hornet's nest I'm going to kick next. Apparently, Rage.
And Riley. I got some shit for that Riley video too because people are like, "It's a she." I'm like, "Aren't you?" Okay, whatever. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh shit! And we got to 11 o'clock, guys. That brings us to the end of tonight's show. Thank you so much, everybody in the chat, for joining us. I love you guys. It's amazing you guys come in and see us every night. I can't thank you enough. SDA, a pleasure as always. Hi, I'm Real. Nice to meet you, and thank you for sitting in for Scribe tonight. Really enjoyed having you.
It's been wonderful. Let me know if you guys ever want me to be back, and I'll clear my schedule.
Cool. We will do that.
If we ever get desperate, we will.
You're going to be mean to our guest right at the end.
Right at the end. It's just to leave a bad taste in
the
mouth.
Well, no, I mean, like, if he's going to be a regular guest, he's going to have to get used to
it. Guys, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Later on.